Thank you. God bless America. Dunkin' Donuts down the street. Can I get everybody's attention? We're going to have an open meeting tonight. The rules of open meeting are, we have five resolutions. You get 3 minutes to talk for each one of the resolutions. You can, we'll read the resolution. You have time for questions on that resolution. Once your 3 minutes is up, that's it. You get 3 minutes from when you start your question. Give us, we have a couple of speakers for each resolution that the board is going to speak on that resolution to explain how we got to that resolution, how we got the decision of that resolution. Just give us time, no outbursts, give us time to explain things, and be presentable here. Don't be screaming and yelling. Let's have a friendly meeting so we can just discuss our decisions on how we came about the decisions that we made. Okay? Thank you. Can you read resolution number 2025-10-2301?
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Jolly good. Okay, the first resolution is number 2025-10-2301, approving the proposed 2026 budget.
Now, Debbie Forte is going to have a little speech on this resolution to explain how everything came together on how we made the decision with Tom Claus's proposal, with the Budget Committee's proposal, and how the board voted on it, how we got it all to the price that we got. Now she's going to explain it to you. Let her, don't interrupt her. Let her read her decision. All right? Thank you.
Okay, the Budget Committee worked for many, many months to get the budget to work in a figure that was $65 a month. Tom Claus had given us a budget where it was $59 a month. We had worked together to get all of the new increases in revenue in here. The price about charging for services when people come to your house, the increase in the dues, the increase in the membership fees for the gym, the increase in the other things that we already did. We increased the rooms, to rent the rooms, to get more income so we wouldn't have to raise the maintenance. When the Budget Committee was done, they submitted a budget and they had put on there that they wanted us to raise the maintenance $65 a month. The board got together and talked about it. We went between 58, 59, 60. We came up with $59 as the average amount that we felt would be fair. We don't want to have an assessment, but we need this money. The insurance is going to be raised to $3.1 million a year. The Budget Committee had $3.45 million a year. We averaged it out based on the figures that Tom had to come up with 3.1, which gave us the $59. Are there any other questions?
Excuse me,
Yes,
if you
it's
want to,
here.
if there's a question, come up to the mic, ask the question. This is for the budget resolution. 3 minutes you have. Your name, your address, and turn the mic.
What I want to know is, how much was the insurance last year?
2.85.
Okay, so it went up $400,000?
Yes. We believe it's going to go up 10% from what it was last year.
Last year you raised the fee to cover the insurance increase in 2025. So, how much of the money that you are proposing for the increase per unit is going to be for the $400,000 that we need extra this year?
From the assessment,
Yes.
$30.
Okay.
Excuse me, Debbie. I think the answer to his question was not correct.
Okay.
Would you, now I forgot.
Wait.
Wayne, would you ask a question again?
Pick the mic up with you now. I'll say that way.
Last year, we paid an increase for the insurance this year. Well, that's why. The increase this year is only $400,000. So how much of the assessment is going to go towards the insurance increase?
Yeah, the special assessment from last year was to cover the unanticipated increase from the premium for last year. The budget this year is meant to capture this year's anticipated increase. So the special assessment was not to pay this year's premium, it was to pay a past due premium because it was higher than what was anticipated. Does that make sense?
I don't know. But I'll work it out in my own time.
Sharon Wagner, 684A Pleasant Drive. So my question would be, this budget committee worked on this budget all these months from the springtime, and at the last minute, the budget was pulled and swapped out for Tom's budget. So my question is, you're hitting us, you're touting it that like he's saving us money for $59 a month, and the other budget was $65 a month. But my understanding is the other budget was going to definitely make sure we weren't going to get, it was assuring us that we weren't going to get another assessment. Is this budget for $59 going to stop us from getting an assessment next year? Because I want to hear this board say that, no assessment next year. Say it.
We don't want an assessment, and
No, not you don't want. Are you having one? Are you planning on one?
Can we
No.
explain it to you?
No,
Sharon,
no.
stop yelling and screaming. Can you explain it? Let Tom explain his budget. And let Tom explain.
Let Tom explain the difference between
It's not-
his budget and what
Sharon,
this budget.
this is what I didn't want. I didn't want screaming and yelling. Let Tom explain his, not his budget, but the budget he proposed.
Okay.
There's nobody here.
Listen, Tom, you're burning my time up, okay? So let me tell you what I.
Well, we're not
Let me
burning it.
tell you what I.
Well-
Debbie is the board liaison to the original budget committee. So she can explain what she worked on all those months, and Tom can explain his.
And we would like
Go
him
ahead,
to
do
explain.
that.
We would like him to explain.
First off, I think it's misunderstanding my budget committee budget. Both Gina and I worked with the budget committee. It's a collaboration. Now granted, there were various recommendations from the budget committee, and we had recommendations. Now, we worked with our insurance professionals on all of our policies, not just the package policy, but the D&O, the auto, etc. and we were going over it, and the numbers that they gave us, there were certain areas where they didn't anticipate an increase, other areas where they anticipated 10% increase. We allotted for those numbers, and we put a little bit extra in the event that it comes in higher than what our professionals were estimating to be. Yes, the Budget Committee did recommend $65 to have additional monies in that insurance line item to hopefully prevent a special assessment. And if those numbers didn't come in that high, that money was supposed to be earmarked for a provisional account. Now, I am obligated to provide all that data to the board, not just the Budget Committee, but to the board. So when I have that information from the insurance brokers or professionals, I'm going to provide it to the board. I'm not going to withhold that. They need all the data to make the best educated decision they can. Now, the budget we had crafted based with those numbers was less than what the Budget Committee was recommending. And the board met in the middle. They had discussed both scenarios. And they determined by themselves, not with any influence from the Budget Committee or from myself, where they wanted that dollar amount to be. This is their decision. It's not based upon what I told them to do. It's not based upon what the Budget Committee told them to do. They had analyzed the information they were provided, and they made a final decision. These are the numbers from the insurance brokers. They're the professionals that we hired, the licensed professionals. If these numbers don't come in the same way they estimated they would be, they're the ones that should come to the meeting and explain it. Where are they?
Okay, but my point is, I would have rather stood up here and said, okay, I'll eat $65 a month, knowing that there's going to be money put aside in case, so we don't have an assessment, right? So now you take the $59, and I've already heard, I don't know if it's a rumor, that there's another assessment coming in January, right? But that now entitles this board and you to turn around and say, guess what, you have a $400 assessment coming, which would have been way more than paying that extra $6 a month. So I just want to know, are we getting an assessment next year?
There has been no discussion on assessment. I don't know where that information came from.
Yeah, I want like a yes or a no, really.
How can you give you a yes or a no when the policies don't even expire until December 31st? All I have is this information from our insurance company. That's all I have. This is the data. This is the information.
So again, just to clarify, you don't know how much your insurance is going to be, but you have to prepare a budget to project that. And that's why there's difficulty saying yes or no, because until you get that number, you're not going to know. But the board has to move forward with the budget.
Sharon, your time is up, and you should have been under the mic. Thank you.
Time shouldn't be including with the rebuttals, to be honest. Okay, is the mic not working? Is the mic not working? Can you hear me? Okay. I'm Dory from 334B. So we're in a budget crisis, correct? We, the homeowners, not you, we, the homeowners.
Yes. I'm a homeowner too.
Tom Claus just went out and bought a new vehicle for safety and security, is that correct?
Yes.
What was the cost of that? What was the cost of that?
It was board approved, $8,000 some odd dollars.
Why can't we use a maintenance truck that's not being used at nighttime? We're in a budget crisis, okay? We're in a budget crisis, yet you continue to hire new staff. That means more payroll taxes, more money for benefits, correct? Yes, okay. So we're allowing Tom Claus to make decisions regarding our budget when he sat up here and couldn't add 18 and 18. Okay? Number 3, Tom Claus hasn't wasn't worked within the budget for 3 years. He continued to spend, he continued to hire, and there was absolutely no self-control on this board's part and their oversight of Tom Claus. Lastly, we have $211,000 that we have to pay for that Taj Mahal that we did not need. I point the fingers at Stady Alcomando, Tom Petroci, and Judy Mapes, and Tom Claus for having that unnecessary building and not having the foresight that we could possibly be in a situation we're in now, a budget crisis. Most people don't get a 20% increase.
Tim Ring and Tom Haskell who wanted
They're not sitting up here now, and Tim Ring and Tom Haskell were one of the worst things that happened to this building, okay? And on top of that, this budget was presented too late and was not completely transparent. We need transparency, and that's what every single person on this board ran, giving transparency to us and for us to trust you.
Well, can I answer one of your questions?
Sure.
I'm on the safety and security team, right? And I don't see you at the meeting. I know you work. I don't see you at the meeting. I don't see a lot of the people here. But that was their number one thing. They have that security car back in this village going around at night. That was their main issue. And so I listened to the people. I listened to the people at these meetings. I listened to the people here. And that's what we got. We got the car because they wanted a security car at night. And well,
And so let me ask you this, being that we are in a budget crisis, and if I was in a budget crisis, I wouldn't go out and buy a new car, and I would use another car for my family to tool around at night that's not being used. Can you answer that?
I didn't hear what you're saying, but your time is up.
For me, if my family was in a
I can't
budget
hear you
crisis,
with everybody yelling.
if I was in a budget crisis, I would not be going out and buying a new car. Okay? I would be using another family member's car if I had to go to work at night and they did work during the day. So why couldn't you use one of the tens of
We
trucks?
did use it. We did.
Okay, so why couldn't you continue and save that money?
Listen, I'm not going to go over the Kubota because I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to deal because I wasn't
You guys have a spending problem, and until you reel that spending problem in, we are going to be paying. And we all don't have
To run the village, you
disposable
have to
income for
spend. You
that.
have to spend to run the village.
Not the way the spending's been going. Cut out the extra hiring, cut out the extra purchasing, put a moratorium on purchasing. We cannot afford 20% increases and assessments, of course, that you didn't say we will not be getting.
Is that better? Okay, sorry. I just have a comment. I know this was said in the past, it bears repeating. HOA fees, when they were set up, are based on square footage. I believe the increases in our HOA fees should be based on square footage. So, and I know it's not always popular, but if you have a Regency, someone has a Greenbrier, yours is giant, somebody else's is small, who has a garage, who doesn't, it's not, that shouldn't be that way. It wasn't set up that way, it should be continued on a square footage basis. Then, also, the insurance, I can understand Sharon's concern because last year you lowballed the anticipated increase in insurance. That's how we ended up with an assessment. That was lowball. They said anywhere from 10 to 30, they based it on 10 instead of go high and then you end up with less. Don't tell us less and then ask us for more. That's all we're asking. We're asking for transparency and honesty and upfront. And my last statement is, shame on you all for getting rid of those buses that are the lifeline for many people in this village. Shame on you all.
Wayne, you're already up. You can't go up again.
All I have to say is, I did the math on the $400,000 with the amount of buildings that are in the village. And what I came up with was $14 a month. So between $30 and $14, where's that $16 going?
They got quiet quick, didn't they? I'm Brady Barrett, 295A. You hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Right, take your budget. We'll start with road cleaning, street sweeper. We don't need it. Every time they cut grass, they blow the roads. Get rid of it. Absolutely done. Equipment purchases. I quit. All we know is it's $40,000. I know you mentioned that you're going to need new, winter equipment, it's breaking down. You have a mechanic. They are smart enough to know the parts that they have to replace, and in the future, Tom, we're looking at we're going to need equipment. That doesn't exist. The interest on the loan. How much interest? What is the percentage rate? Interest rates are high. That was absolutely foolish to do that with high interest. It's not the time. And the buses, where do you get the right to take away these things we have? You have no right for that. Let's take away.
Well, have somebody explain the buses when the bus, this is not, this bus, the bus, she'll talk about the buses when the bus budget, the bus,
She didn't want to advertise. And she said, yeah, we're going to get Ocean Ride
Well,
times a week. And then she also said, we'll see if we can get them another time a week. Not even solidified. This is nonsense. You don't even think. This is stupid. I mean, what's next? The pools? Why don't you charge for the pool? But at the beach, seniors get a discount. Instead of 60, we get 20. Would that be enough money? And you never appropriate the money you say for all these rates for the insurance. I said it the last time you said, we paid the reserve fund for the insurance and other things. This is stupid with you people. You're taking it up, you're ruining this. And the spending is ridiculous, like they said at Truck. Give us a break. How many new trucks you got out there? And I see these really good trucks in good shape with these guys picking up garbage from the street, taking the shovels and banging them on the side. Give me a break. I've only been here 3 years and this sickens me. This is stupid. And you want more money, you don't tell us about bonuses. Take it out of my pocket so you can get a bonus. That's where you save money. No bonuses, no raises. And I'm not even kidding. And I see this stuff. I have to do it at my own house. You can't do this, you'll have to put it off. I don't think that.
My name's Dave Sorensen, 103F. How y'all doing? I appreciate the moment. I watch the whole room, and I listen to the internet and social media. You need to do something about the perception that this place is mismanaged and corrupt. We need to have a little bit more transparency and not shut people down when they're talking and you don't like the question. Thank you.
Can you hear me now? I'm 179A, Sterling. I just have something to say. It's not really a question. I'm just going to address you. First Service Residential services Greenbrier Woodlands, right around the block from us, right in the back on New Hampshire Avenue. 1,200 homes. Their service fee every month, their HOA, $243. $243 with only 1,200 homes. And I just heard somebody say they get nothing. That's what you're going to get, nothing. And you're going to pay, I'm going to pay $339 a month, $439 a month, $339, $439 a month. Garbage. You need to find the lowest contractor. When they bid out, when you bid out, you took the highest. Why? I have no clue. Why? I work in public education. We can't take the highest. You got the pool. How to have that heater? I don't see anybody in it, maybe 5 people in October. You know what? It was a waste of money. Water, you water the lawns 82 times a week. Lawns that, I gotta tell you, I've got more sand than I've got lawn. Okay? The water is sand. Employees, you got employees laying all over the place, on their phones. I work every day, I don't really see it, but I see enough. I see enough that I know they should be written up and talked to at least, and gotten to do what they're supposed to do, not stand around, 10 of them standing around watching one dig. That's ridiculous. It's a waste of money. Plus, some of these people, they have no way to go. And their neighbors can't take them. I couldn't take anybody, I work 5 days a week. But neighbors can't be hauling other people around. That's their insurance. They have to worry about that too. Take the garbage and make it once a week. Yeah. Take the recycling, make it once every 2 weeks. It's going to cut money. And you've already got these people standing out there putting their garbage down that they can't bend over. You're hollering about the garbage men can't? They're 25 years old and they can't bend over? God bless them. God bless them. Find a company that's got people that can. Investigative service company. The people that work here need to go. Christmas bonuses, I don't get a bonus. I don't know too many here that do. I don't get a bonus. Christmas bonuses are a thing of the past. Stop it. It's a waste. Do not pass this budget. It's a world of trouble for them and you.
Barry Sable, 574B. The presentation you're doing, that you're doing the budget first and the buses second, which means you already made up your mind for the budget, you already made up your mind for the buses. The bus should have been the first thing on the project, and then the HOA fee. What good is talking about the buses once you approve the HOA? The bus issue is dead, no matter what we say.
Barry, we're not voting on it now. We're discussing these resolutions now. The vote doesn't start until the meeting is opened. So we don't vote on until the meeting is open. We're discussing the 5 resolutions now. So it doesn't matter what order they came in. You discuss it now, and then once the meeting is open, then that's when the voting starts. No, it's not.
I got a question. Are you getting rid of the 2 fountains in the main water that you have water going up and everything? Are you cutting that out?
What are we talking about, fountains? In the lake?
Are you getting rid of them to save money?
No.
Why? If you gotta save money, get rid of it. How bad? It'll kill everything. It's little or what? Get rid of it. When you're looking for money. That's the whole idea.
Okay.
Second is, with the buses, the people are telling you they want it. They're willing to pay it. You don't want to pay it. And 2, with the buses that's supposed to come from Ocean Ride, how many stops are you going to put on Portsmouth? Right now, they don't even go on Portsmouth. You got a lot of stops on Buckingham, Una, and how many are you going to have them do on Portsmouth? Do you know already? If you're having them, you should know. And with 100,000 for the cars, last year you had 80,000. What cars do you plan to get this year? You should know. We should have known on the presentation, because you're not doing transparency. You just, when you gave the budget presentations, they were general budgets. the accounts that go with it, with the money, you didn't present to us, like the cars. How many cars do you expect to get next year? You give a total amount, X amount, but you don't know how many or tell us. I can't wait, that's why I put you were over.
So the service department does have a list of vehicles they want the board to consider to retire. The thing is we buy used vehicles, not new vehicles, we buy used vehicles. So you really don't know what that vehicle is going to cost until you go and find one.
I understand that, but we should know how many vehicles we want to buy for the year.
Barry, please, the service department, it does have a list of vehicles in priority that they want to phase out.
I understand that.
But they don't know if they're going to be actually able to purchase that many vehicles.
I know, but we should have an idea from them each year, an idea how many they want to replace.
They do.
And how many
Well, if at all possible, we would like to replace at least 3 vans and 3 pickups, but we don't know. We cannot determine whether or not that's possible when you're purchasing used vehicles.
I understand that, but at least now we know you were thinking of 6. Before, we had no idea. It could be 10, possibly thinking 2, 3. You got to be more transparent. That's why when you do a budget presentation, you got to do the other accounts that give us an idea.
Thank you. Suzanne Smith, 262D. I come to all these meetings, and y'all come to fight. You come mad. Then all we get is a barrage. And you know, this is not an easy time to be on the planet. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but all of my bills are going up, all of them. And if we think that Leisure Village is somehow immune to what's happening, then you're delusional. I mean, my insurance for my dad's life went up 100%. I just got a note, 100%. That's what's happening. I'm talking right now. I've listened to you. This is my 3 minutes. All right? I'm talking to you because we are supposed to be a community, and we're supposed to work through this together. And if you have that part of big of an issue with the board, then run for the board and get involved and put your 2 cents in over there because they're meeting. You want to know how they spend every penny? Then be part of the budget committee. You know, I mean, we have to be realistic about this. Look, and I'm not so, I understand that mistakes get made, but I do believe that our board is doing the best they can with what we've got and you can believe differently. And if you believe differently, then join some committees. Do something. You know, volunteer. A lot of people in here do not. As far as the cars are concerned, if you've ever had an old vehicle, you never know when it's going to die. And that's the truth. So, you know, I got 15 seconds left, and I'm going to take them all. Because other people here keep talking and talking and talking. And honestly, I wouldn't be in their place for $1,000 because all they get is your vitriol. I mean, we're supposed to be a community, right? We don't have to agree with each other, but we can be civil. Now, I've got 27 seconds, and I want to say thank you for putting up with all of this every board meeting.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Denise Shanowski. I live at 99B Edinburgh, and I'm hard of hearing, so please be patient with me. I moved in, I bought the place in December, I moved in January, and that was after a long, really difficult time looking for a condo with affordable association fees. So when I found out about this place, although it wasn't in Bergen County where my family was, I thought, all right, well, I can drive, you know, I'll do what I have to commute, and this is a nice settlement. I like the attraction of the pools that I haven't used yet. But anyway, when I first voiced interest and started all of the transactions, my HOA was $288. And when I closed, I was told last minute that it was going up to $317. And now, it's not even a year later, and it's what, $88 more with this new budget. And that's almost $100. And I have to tell you, 2 years ago, I was making a lot of money. I'm a nurse for many years in nursing administration, and I had a diagnosis with something, and it prevented me from working anymore. So I'm on a fixed income. Thank God I worked, made good money. I'm at the higher end of disability, and I'm still looking for a job because I cannot manage on the higher end of disability. And as an advocate for seniors, what I'm hearing now about this bus, my time in rehab nursing, transportation is a really big thing for seniors to get around. It's unconscionable to take that away. But one other thing, this is an observation. At night, I have to walk my dog. He's a big dog. I can't train him to hold his bladder more than, 15 hours or whatever it is, 12 hours. So I go out probably around 11 o'clock at night. I don't know why, but it is pitch black, and the sprinklers are on. Even when we had that storm that wasn't that bad a few weeks ago, you had ice cold water showering me and my dog to the point where he was pulling me side to side because he was afraid of getting, hit by the rain. And I'm hard of hearing, I can't hear the rain, so this could have knocked me down. And, that wouldn't have been a good thing. I could have cracked my head or something, and I don't support this budget. I know you have a difficult job. I went to many NISNA, New York State Nurses Association meetings with the unions. I know it's difficult on both sides. Your job is not easy. But simple fixes, and I'm not dumping, I'm asking you to consider simple fixes like the water. Make sure that there's a date, maybe, October 15th. Make sure that water's off, heat's on, whatever it is. And, the lights, that's mandatory. That's not an if, so that has to be done.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm glad that they fixed the road. That's great. But, again, this is all money, and, going to ShopRite, it's ridiculous.
Ma'am, your time is up.
One more question, please. No, one more person to ask a question.
My name is Luz Alderete, and I live in 329D in Dorchester. My question is for the manager. You said you don't know how much the insurance is going to be, that maybe the insurance agent will know. Second, you said you don't know how much that car is going to cost. Because I don't know, the guy who sells cars know? So what do you know? What are you the manager?
Well, once again, we don't get the renewal notices or the new policy premiums until we're in December. All we can work with is what our insurance brokers estimate those numbers to be in December at the time of renewal. And they work with underwriting from the various carriers to try and gauge that. So that's what we do. We work with them, they give us the numbers, they tell us they're pretty solid, and that's what we use when we're making recommendations.
In my experience, I've been 25 years working in corporate, and usually all the estimates are very accurate, unless something terrible happens. You now are going to raise this $59. Have you thought of people that live here? You go to, what is the name of that one? Four Seasons. They pay $262. The only thing they don't get that we get is the roof. And they have to pay extra if they wanna belong to the club with the golf. But they get the loans, they get all the amenities, they get everything for $262. They paid for those houses double that we pay here. So why are we paying all this money? The problem is with the administration. The problem is you. A failed manager shouldn't be. You understand you are responsible. You have to take care of this village because you are the manager. It's your responsibility. It's not the guy, the association attorney, or the board. The board that rehired you was the mistake. I'm sorry.
Through resolution number 2025-102302.
This is resolution number 2025.
That was the last question. What are we going to talk all night on this thing? We know how you feel. We know how you feel. Yes, we do. We know how you feel.
You don't know about this, though. You don't know what this is.
We know that you're against the budget.
It's everything.
I know you don't.
Listen, anyway, how you guys doing today, all right?
See, that's why we don't want you to go up there, because you're going to joke around and you're not going to come to the question.
I'm going to say it to you anyway, right? Okay? Money is money, whether it's a lot of money or a little money. If you make a lot of money, that's good. If you make a little money, that's good. Why are we giving money away? We have 4 vending machines. 2 here, 2 in Buckingham. We don't make a dime. We don't have Mr. Softy trucks, Saturday and Sunday and Wednesdays in the summertime. $5 for a cone. We don't make a dime. They come in, they sell, they leave. And here's what I hear. Well, we do it for the people. Oh, $5 a cone? Boy, you're really a great guy. Why can't we make the money? Figure it out.
Pat Wilson, 545 East Sheffield. Okay, I have a question. The last meeting, you presented the budget to us, okay? Now, we looked at it, okay, and we have questions. Now you're coming to this meeting to pass the budget. So if we have anything to say to you, you're not going to stop and change it. You're going to pass what you already want to pass. And that's not the way it should be done. We should have had a meeting like this, talk to you about it, and then you go back and see what you can do. But we feel that you're not going to do anything. You're just listening to us. Nobody's writing anything down, okay? And we're asking you for help. Okay, now, Debbie, you said we need money, okay? We have people that are not paying in this village. They're living here free, okay? So, we're paying for them. They'll say, well, when I die, they'll take my house. I don't care. They're not paying it. I can't afford it. Why don't you, everybody that owes money in this village, come to the office and make out a payment plan, no matter what they can pay, $5, $3, do something to get money from them so we're not always paying it for them. It's getting ridiculous. They don't care.
Pat, we do have people that come in and get on payment plans. The attorney also makes payment plans for us.
Get my questions in before you start answering, because my 3 minutes will be up. Okay. We, the owners, would like the insurance company, it's going up every year. We would like to meet with them and go question line by line and find out what we're paying for, and maybe we can do something about it. We want a meeting with the insurance company. Second of all, the Lakewood garbage. Next year it's going to go up again. We want to, as the people are saying, 1 time a week, pick up the garbage and give us garbage pails. They have to do that. We don't want this all twice a week. We can't afford it. We gotta cut back on the garbage. We can't afford it next year. It's gonna go up again. The street cleaner, as I mentioned before, you don't wanna hear about it. Put that $10,000 into the buses so they can have that. Administration, you gotta stop increases for a while and bonuses. It's gonna hurt, but we're hurting. You have to do this to help the village and help us. Next, my garbage, close one of the pools temporarily until we get on our feet. You people, we tell you these things, and we're trying to help you and help ourselves, but you just don't, you ignore everything we're saying. You gotta do something for us. We don't need the street cleaner. We don't need it. And we don't need bonuses, and we don't need any more hiring, and we don't need any more increase in wages in the office. Now,
Your time is up.
Pat, can I say one thing? You sat up, you used to be on the board, you sat up here, you know it went, and a lot of these problems that we're having today because of past things that weren't done. Now, I'm not saying yours, but things that weren't done, that's why we're having problems today.
Pat, your time is up.
Years. It's not only, every board was the same thing. Don't blame it on the board. I was on the board for 2 years.
I know you are.
Yes, but I couldn't get anything through because everybody here is a clique. And when you get on that board, you want to do
Not everybody is good.
Yes.
This board did not vote all the same way.
I was
So you don't know how we voted on this
Everything that
budget.
Kathy and I wanted to put through, 2 people cannot do it when there's 7 on the board. And we were downsized, we couldn't do anything. Anything we
Pat, your time is up. Thank you. Pat, thank you.
You're gonna pass this right now.
We don't know what we're gonna do.
Yeah, you just said it. You just said it. Go back, we don't want this budget. You don't want it, go back and put on and do something for us. And don't cut off.
Would everyone please abide by the 3-minute rule?
Margarita on number 241A. I just have a question. Before you guys come up with what our assessment's going to be for the following year, don't you have all the bills in front of you? Don't you have the tax bill? Don't you know what the grass bill's going to be, the truck bill, this bill? Don't you have that, and then you sit down and figure out what the bill's going to be for the following year? So if you do that, so if the insurance is telling you it's going to be $10 for the year, $1 million for the year, you know what it's going to be. They don't come in the middle of the year and say, dump this big thing on you. Why are we getting an assessment? Why are you guys changing it in the middle of the year? I'm just confused. Can you explain that to me?
So, they do not know how much the insurance is going to be. They have not been told yet, right?
So how do you come up with a budget for the following year when you don't know what your bills are?
Because they're required to come up with a budget for the fiscal year, but the insurance policy does not end your fiscal year or start your fiscal year.
So then why don't you make it when you have that bill? Why don't you start it when you have all the bills in?
Because then you won't approve a budget at the beginning of the fiscal year. You won't send out notices to the community of the assessments. They have to estimate certain things because in a perfect world, everything would start in the beginning of the fiscal year, or the count of their fiscal year. But in reality, most places it starts in the calendar year, right? So it's just different.
But can't you change that so this doesn't happen to us?
That's a question when the insurance brokers come at the meeting. You can certainly ask them.
Yeah, because I know I've lived in other condos and they had their bills for the year for the insurance, and we knew. Doing this and hitting us year by year. The first year was 100, last year was 3. Then it's not a good look. And it's not only a good look, but then you start looking at you because it's not, I don't care, you have to run it, I understand, it takes money to run a village, but then I start looking at your employees have a day before off a holiday and the day of the holiday, and they get paid. And I don't care that they do that, but
what I do when you're hitting me with money. Then I look at that your employees are sitting around doing nothing. I don't care if they do or not, but I do care when you're hitting me with money. And it just gets ugly, people are pointing. I'm just saying, if this is the problem, then maybe all your bills should come in, and then from there, you come up with a budget. This way you're not hitting people over and over and over. I mean, you keep raising it, not by $5, by $10. You guys are raising it a lot. And not only that, but you're taking away. We don't gain anything from this. You're taking away the bus. You took away, every time somebody comes to our house now, you charge us. You take away this, you take away that. What's the bonus of living here? It was at one time that we had so much, and now we don't. You don't have to answer, I'm just saying.
No, I do want to address the timeline with the insurance.
I would appreciate if you don't pass this budget.
So the board has discussed changing the expiration of the policies with the new insurance brokers to coincide with our budget year. So the problem this year is we were with a new carrier, and to change it 6 months in, it doesn't give the carrier enough time to come up with those premiums. They usually base that by at least a 12-month expiration. So now that we've been nearly 12 months with the new carrier, that is something that we're going to look into heavily for 2026. So it may result in a cancellation mid-year and a renewal in order to get that to coincide with our budget.
I still ask questions for the budget. I can't hear you. Got to
257B Jefferson Court. 257B Jefferson Court.
Okay.
I understand that there was going to be a lot of tension. Okay?
Sir,
the thing is,
hold the mic in your hand.
You're asking people for $708 annually. They're also fighting COLA costs that are rising exponentially either. It all comes down to one question for me to bridge the gap. I'm only here a year and a half. Where can I get a copy of itemized expenditures, especially for the administration costs that are 49% of this pie chart, down to the last paper clip? Where can I get that?
All the financials are on Appfolio. On your computer, you can go to Appfolio, and all the financials are on there. Everything is itemized on there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Kay.
Now we're on to resolution number 2025.
You're up.
1023.
We accept your apology.
Thank you.
Thank you for the apology.
We move on to the second resolution, resolution number 2025-102302, adopting the restatement of our bylaws.
Any questions on that resolution? One question. Hi, Lois.
Back is 283 Kingston Court. Sorry. Karaoke time. I have a question regarding page 4 on it, part G4, where it says transfer fee. Just the verbiage. I have a question regarding it. I wrote to the board because I compared it to my bylaws when I moved in here. And when I sat through the budget presentation the other day, someone questioned that they didn't know that there was a $2,400 membership fee. Now, prior to my moving here, I did my homework, and I checked all the villages around, and Leisure Village West is $2,400, and Leisure Village East is $2,400, and I knew this had $2,400. So I was prepared before I got here. I knew what I had to pay. I was fine with that. I because I never lived in a condo community. So I compared my old bylaws to these bylaws page by page, and it was pretty accurate. There's little tweaks here and there. But the verbiage in this one paragraph caught my eye because the one that I had was dated 1966, the original bylaws. It had a number of amendments and resolutions attached to it, which was good. It showed how the membership fee went up every couple of years or whatever it was. It was, you know, what they gave me when I moved in. I'm fine with all that. So when I looked at this, the verbiage is a little different, and it looks a little deceiving to any newcomer who would want to move here. And that was my concern, why I wrote to a board member who I know, she sent it to you, Tom, who sent it to the lawyer. So this is my question for you. I just want to make sure that you received the email.
Yes.
Because the first paragraph, and it's only the part of the paragraph, because it says, each owner shall pay to the association upon acquisition of title to this unit a non-refundable contribution in the amount equal to 3 months common expense assessment attributable to this unit, or such other amount as may be determined by the board from time to time as a membership fee. And then the rest is blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
The original bylaw that I had doesn't have that verbiage, but it says that it was a specific amount, and it said it went to the capital fund. So it does say that it would be, I was wondering like why there isn't an amount on here if this is an updated bylaw. Because if new people are looking to move here and they want the information, that's how I came.
So the board approves resolutions as to the membership fee. So as it increases, they approve a resolution. So this is consistent with that because it says as such other amounts may be determined by the board from time to time. This is a power afforded to the board under the Condo Act. They can assess a capital contribution. So a prospective buyer wouldn't look at this section. They would look at the most recent resolution that was passed by the board to understand what the actual membership fee is. And I think every year that I've been here, every year they approve a membership fee.
And that I agree on that. But what if they didn't know to look for that? Because I never lived in a condo. I'm thinking from the outside, like an outside person.
The chances of them looking at page 4 of the bylaws, if they don't look for a resolution, I mean, these are general powers for the board, and then the board or the association of membership can then hone in and make things more specific as they want, which is specifically what this does. Right? This allows them to focus in and change it as the community changes, as their needs change.
But also the 3 months common expense assessment attributable to the unit. What does that mean?
It's 3 months maintenance fees is the capital contribution or such other amount as the board may determine from time to time. Okay. So the board can modify that as they deem fit, which is what they do.
Now, to go back to your earlier question, typically during the transfer process, you'll have either the title company, the attorney, or the realtor reach out to us to get that updated transfer fee. So that's usually part of the process. There's a whole form that we have to check all the boxes, and they do the same thing on their end.
I know when I met with my realtor before I got here, even the realtor was like, I can't believe this is the price. And I said, yeah, I know. I found it online. I looked it up, and I was able to find the information because that's what I do. And I found the information before I even purchased. So I was good that I found it. But my concern was just like if there's someone off the street that wants to look for what is the membership fee, will it be deceiving to them that there's no specific number in there?
It will not be because the board has a resolution that's approved and management will provide that at the time of closing.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Dory, 334B. So everything that's in the master deed, when it needs to be changed, is via resolution?
No, nothing, it's not going to be changed. If there is something that's left to interpretation or the discretion of the board, it's changed through resolution.
Okay. So do you know how many amendments have been made to the master deed?
A lot. It took me a while to pull them all together. So, to be clear, it's the bylaws, it's not the master deed, because your community has a lot of horizontal regimes, there's like 70 of them, but they all operate under the bylaws, so the bylaws dictate what every member has to comply with. So we're talking about the bylaws, not the master deed.
Okay. So, let me ask you this, so it says, whereas by master deed and declaration of the restricted and protected, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So why, this is in there? So it has to go into the master deed, correct or not?
No.
The bylaws or something completely different than the master deed?
The master deed, there is a master deed that everybody has to comply with, which indicates your actual ownership rights of your unit. The master deed are included within, the bylaws are included within that master deed, but the bylaws apply to everybody, whereas everybody has their own master deed. But everyone's master deed says we comply with the bylaws, so everybody has the same master deed. It's a very interesting structure.
Okay, so where is the master deed posted for the community to see?
There is not one. There's dozens and dozens of dozens.
But
They
the
are
original
recorded in
master
the
deed
clerk's
from
office.
1964.
What's that?
The original deed from 1964.
There is no original master deed for everyone. Everyone's master deed, if you look, they're all recorded at the same time, but there's a whole bunch of them. So if you ever go and look in the Ocean County Clerk's office and just type in Leisure Village Association and look for a master deed from 1967 or whatever, 1964. So from 1964, you'll see that there are several of them. It's not...
No, there's two. One is 6 pages long, the other is 135 pages.
That's not true, because if you look at master deed, it'll say horizontal property regime 46. And so that'll be for a dozen units, right? It's not going to be for everybody's unit.
Okay, but what they show on their website, what the clerk's office told me today, there is one that's 135 pages. So something's amiss if it's not, that's something maybe you can look in as our attorney.
I can tell you that that's not accurate. They may be referring to the bylaws, but the master deed...
No, it's a master deed. It's a master deed. I would suggest you look at it as our attorney. So the rules and regulations, they pertain to the master deed? And does that have to be changed if there's an issue, like, does it have to go into a resolution?
The rules and
Or change
regulations are
anything?
adopted by the board. They're at the
Okay.
discretion of the board. They can be modified by the board. They're not part of the bylaws. They're not part of the master deed. They're
Are they,
separate.
or do they have, if they change anything, does it have to be via resolution?
If they change the rules and regulations, it's best if it's done by resolution. Doesn't need to be done by resolution. It should be done at an open board meeting, though, is what I would say. Always.
Okay, when was the last time the rules and regulations were changed?
2019 was the last update, and they do need to be updated again.
So I have here, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, I'm sure you'd be happy to do that. On book 2368 on page 270, under the rules and regulations, on number 5, no garbage, trash, or debris shall be thrown, dumped, or allowed to remain outside of the installations, meaning the receptacles that are in the ground, provided thereafter in the service areas. So Tom, why did you make a deal with the garbage company that they didn't have to put pick up the garbage out of the garbage receptacle?
Well, once again, I don't make deals with contractors. The board approves all contracts. Okay?
Negotiations.
Huh?
Who does the negotiations?
I am the in-between, the liaison between the contractor and the board, unless they have the contractor come in.
So you do the negotiations?
Yes, I'm part of the negotiations, but I carry the board's opinions back to the contractor and what they want.
Okay, so you broke the rules and regulations, correct?
I did not write the rules and regulations, no.
Right, you broke the rules and regulations, that's my point.
What do you mean?
I just read on page 2368, on book 2368, page 270, item number 5, under rules and regulations, no garbage, trash, or debris shall be thrown, dumped, or allowed to remain outside of the installations provided thereof in the service areas. That means the receptacles that are in the ground. So why are we expected to have our trash outside of the receptacle, and that was part of the negotiation that you did? On top of that, who negotiates a deal where it's an exorbitant amount the second year for a 2-year contract? Why wasn't it the same amount the second year?
Well, the conversation on the structure of the contract, you got to direct to the board, but residents were asked to place their garbage outside the receptacle on the collection day, not to leave it out there all week long.
Dory,
You broke the rules and regulations, Tom.
But we're not talking about rules and
It
regulations.
has to do with the master deed and the resolutions that you bring forth, okay? Because the master deed has not been made available to the whole of the community, the homeowners. That's part of the lack of transparency thing.
Pat Wilson, I just have a question. Are you making amendments to the bylaws, or what are you doing with the bylaws?
The bylaws are being restated to comply, basically to compile all of the prior amendments that have been made over the years.
Okay.
So they're going to capture them all in one document for everyone to be able to read. And they're also going to be updated to comply with all of the recent changes to laws that have affected your association as far as elections and things like that.
Okay. Do you know that you have to have a vote from the owners before you amend any, that you're going to amend bylaws and which ones you're going to do? According to the bylaws may be amended or repealed from time to time within the limitations prescribed by law at any meeting of the members in which a quorum is present, provided notice of proposed change in bylaws is contained in the notice of such meeting by the affirmative vote of a majority of the members present in person or by proxy who are entitled to vote and are in good standing. No such modification shall be operative until it is embodied in an instrument which has been recorded in the office of the clerk of Ocean County in the same manner as the master deed and original bylaw.
Pat, if I may answer that, just to, we're not amending anything.
No, that's
This
not
is
entirely accurate.
restating.
No, that's not entirely accurate. You're not, this does not have to be a membership vote because you have already amended, you've already approved the amendments, or you have to update these bylaws to comply with state law, which is in the bylaws.
Right.
These can be amended to comply with state law because this association obviously has to comply with state law. So under those two, you don't need a membership approval. You can just approve it because one, you've already approved it, and two, you have to approve it.
Okay, so that's what you're doing now, the
Correct.
ones that are already there.
Correct.
You're not amending any?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that we know of.
Joan Nealon, 269D. Tom, at the budget meeting, I had asked you why I understand we have to finish out this contract with Waste Management, but why we don't have garbage picked up by the township since we already paid them taxes to do that. And you told me you would have an answer, or you would address.
No, this is not related to the amendment that we're discussing. We'll be here all night if we go off topic. It has nothing to do with this amendment, the garbage.
I can speak to you after the meeting.
Let them speak on it. but- Yeah, go ahead.
That situation would be based upon the outcome of any litigation or settlement. I don't believe the township has to accept collecting the garbage. It may be something they want to do as opposed to reimbursement, but then once again, there has to be a conversation with the attorney and the township at that moment.
Wanted to pick up our garbage, or garbage from people in the town of Lakewood.
No, they're not required, but they are required to reimburse. But what the argument is, the town has, what they have internal costs, they calculate the internal costs, and they're reimbursing us based upon what they believe it would cost to pick up garbage in here. We're arguing that their calculations are inaccurate.
They have not reimbursed us for it.
No, they are reimbursing us, but not,
They are
yeah, but not what they used to reimburse us, and not what we feel they should be reimbursing.
And what, you know, whether they're going to pick up our, have we asked them to pick up our garbage?
The board is looking to have that attorney at the December open meeting to address the community and give an update on that matter.
Luz Alderete from 329B. At the beginning, this lady had the opportunity to speak to everybody, and I'm gonna do the same. Sharon wasn't shouting before. You didn't like her questions. That's why you stopped her. So that is not right. Now, my question is for the attorney. Who owns Leisure Village?
We do.
The association is owned by the unit owners.
Thank you.
We are still taxed though for garbage collection in like the county, when our taxes go up from the county. It's still included in garbage. It's still included in our tax. So we're kind of like losing money there. I'm asking about if we are
You know,
still
you
taxed.
get yelled at, but this is not related to this resolution.
Somebody had an answer for that.
On November 3rd is a quarterly meeting. You can ask any question you want. I'm sorry, but that's, you know, that's the rule, so. Any more questions on this resolution? Thank you. Resolution number 3, 125-2303.
This is resolution number 2025-10-2303. A resolution. Can we have some peace and quiet, please? Thank you. Resolution related to damage to common elements, limited common elements, and association property.
Any questions on this resolution? Come up to the mic and ask the question, and we'll try to explain it to you.
Let me give a general overview of what this provides for.
All right, he's gonna.
So, it's okay.
Just explain it a little bit better.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So this resolution is meant to memorialize the fine amount if anybody damages association property, so think vandalism, right, things like that. It's going to be not just the cost to remediate, repair, replace the association property, but there's also going to be a fine in the amount of $500 that's assessed to the unit owner. Obviously, they'll be entitled to their ADR rights as usual, but this really was meant to memorialize the fine amount that people notice. That's it.
Any questions on this resolution?
Doria, 334B. Can you just describe, like, vandalize, like, what are you talking about?
So the resolution reads that each unit owner shall be held responsible for any damage to the common elements, limited common elements, and/or association property caused by the intentional, reckless, or negligent act or omission of said unit owner or their occupants. Damage.
Okay. So what is, like what, if they break a bench? If a window gets broken?
No.
And has there a precedent?
We're talking about deliberately destroying something in the village. We had a couple of cases where somebody deliberately did something in the village, and we had nothing in our bylaws or in our rules or regs. We're not going to discuss it because the person.
Because this is really very vague.
So let me answer the question here.
Now, we're talking about in this building.
We're not talking about things that fail because either they're past their useful life, right, or they just break, right? We're talking about deliberate, intentional, or negligent or reckless acts. everything is going to be discretionary. You can never pinpoint everything. That's why you have ADR rights, right? That's why you have certain mechanisms to try to contest that and challenge that. But this is meant to capture those intentional or negligent acts that damage association property.
Okay, so do you have the same standard that pertains to our buildings and grounds, in particular our lawn maintenance people that are plowing down what's in our 3-foot area, and the lights that are constantly being mowed over and not reported and left up front to us to report? I mean, if the standard is proven that you're going to hold our feet to the fire, but we can't hold your feet to the fire. So for instance, they mowed in my area last week. There's a light that was knocked down, still down, the top of the light is blown someplace else. What do you have in place for the employees if they're negligent? Negligence, and as far as negligence goes, that was why the original Taj Mahal building was burned down, was negligence. So are you holding us to a higher standard than your own employees that we're paying?
The board decided that it was necessary to have some sort of fine or structure to deal with these issues.
I understand, Tom. Is there the same level of care for the employees? Do they have to sign off on this? Are they going to get fined when they ruin something in our neighborhood?
No. This is...
Okay, then don't do it to us. Then don't do it to us.
So the
Please,
situation
hold
with
the buildings and grounds, the lawn and maintenance to the same standard.
So the situation, if there is something damaged by an employee, and it is reported by a resident or seen by a supervisor, they are written up for deliberately breaking something or let go. Now, there are, in fact, situations that are accidents. Now, we come in sometimes in the morning to find a whole row of lights have been smashed by either a resident or a guest. And it wasn't lawnmowers that broke these things. So this resolution deals with that type of situation.
So
the same thing goes with the traffic law. We've had that tampered with, and we've gotten that on video as well.
So my point is, you're holding us accountable. Are you going to make up the same document for your employees when they're negligent in their duties?
In the employee handbook, it talks about issues like that.
Does it have a fine attached to it?
No, it does not have a fine.
Okay, then do not hold our feet to the fire if you're not willing to come back next month or the month after that and have the same standard for the employees that we're paying dearly out of our pocket.
So you're okay if somebody rips something off the wall and we have to pay for it?
I'm not on board with any kind of vandalism, any kind of negligence. Everybody should take care of our community. But if you're going to have this for the residents, you sure as hell better have it for the employees. That's my point. So you come back with this next month with a similar one for the employees, then we're all for it.
I think everybody knows that I'm the president of the farm club over there. And I got a phone call from one of the foremen telling me that there was a guy over there with a bulldozer doing work. And the back of his bulldozer caught onto a piece of wire or a piece of wood and ripped out that whole section of fence. Now, the farmers over there pay a small fee for their land. Any fences that they build and wire that they put up comes out of their own pockets. So when he told me that the bulldozer took out a whole section of fence, and he said it was Farm 130. Well, guess what? Guess whose Farm 130 is? All right? So he said to me, it was an accident. I'm sure it was. So he said, I'm just calling you to let you know. Okay, and? That's it? You're just letting me know? So like if I went through the gate in my car, I just call you up and let you know. I'm not responsible for it or anything.
He didn't deliberately do it. He did it by accident. There's people that deliberately destroy property in this village, and we can't let it go. We just can't let it go. I know what you're saying, Arnie. I understand what you're saying.
I told him, I said, let's not worry about it. Don't worry about it. I didn't look to make nobody in trouble. I don't want to get anybody in trouble or anything. I just wanted to, I thought it was comical. I really did. All right? Now, I'm going to take care of it, but I'm not even mentioning names who called me up. You know? But it would have been nice if he did offer something. I probably would have said, no, don't worry about it.
You're right. He's good office.
You know, but that's all. That's all.
Right.
Talk to people.
Laura Perlman, 345A.
Are you talking about?
Okay, I just have a question to put out to the board. With all that's going on here, the discussions and everything, is there any way, because I don't know what's allowed or not allowed, that if you're thinking of putting out a resolution, that you could just have some type of open meeting, just call an open meeting, and whoever wants to come, and just do some kind of discussion about it. Hear what everyone thinks. Then you guys go back to the boardroom, have your little meeting, then you could discuss that amongst yourself, then put out the resolution. I'm just thinking something like that might stop a lot of this from going back and forth. Because this is done at the 12th hour. So maybe if people have a chance to think about it, and the board, I don't know if that would help at all.
Sharon Wagner, 684A Plymouth Drive. I just want to reiterate what Dory said, because yesterday our lawn was cut. Have a witness, my mom was at my house. Gentleman comes up on the landscaping crew, cigarette hanging out of his mouth, weed whacking, blowing right in front of my 3 windows. It's fall. There's dry leaves on the ground. I said to my mother, turn around and look at this guy. And then I went outside and I'm like, get rid of the cigarette. Is that in the employee handbook that shouldn't be smoking? And the other reason I support what Dory is saying is because an employee's negligence caused our fire at that maintenance building. They threw a rag in that bin that had chemicals on it and burned that building down. Were they held responsible for that?
I do not know who threw the rag in.
I have the fire report. That's how that building burned down.
It didn't say an employee did it?
The fire report that Tom told Kathy Dory and I for 4 years that it didn't exist. I posted it on my reality page. It says that's what caused the fire. That cost us a lot. That employee cost us a lot of money.
We don't know it was an employee. It was not an employee. It could have been something that was picked up off the side of the road and brought back and put there. All right, come on, let's go.
No way. Nobody's supposed to be in the maintenance department.
This has nothing to do with the resolution.
That's true, but what you're saying, you're double talking yourself, because if it was somebody else, they shouldn't have been in there. So it had to be in
It has nothing to do with the resolution.
We'll bring it up the next meeting.
Okay, bring it up November 3rd.
I'll be here.
Okay, good. All right, next resolution. Resolution 2025-10-2304.
Can we have peace and quiet, please? Thank you. The next resolution. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please just quiet down? Thank you. The next resolution is approving, amending the Leisure Village Association Handbook of Rules and Regulations regarding transportation. Thank you.
All right, Judy Mapes is going to speak on this resolution.
We have carefully reviewed the data concerning the ridership levels and the expenses associated with the providing in-house transportation service in Leisure Village. After thorough evaluation, the board has determined that continuing to operate the in-house transportation has become cost prohibitive, and it is not in the best long-term interest of the community. Therefore, it is resolved that Leisure Village Association Handbook of Rules and Regulations be amended to effect the discontinuation of all in-house transportation services effective December 1st. Residents are advised...
Let her speak to clarify it for you, so you understand what's going on, why we're doing it.
Residents are advised that Ocean Ride will continue to provide transportation services on Tuesdays and Thursdays for shopping. Ocean Ride has been serving our community since January and will remain as a reliable transportation option. The board appreciates the community's understanding and support as we make decisions that best serve the financial and operational stability of Leisure Village.
Are you finished? Judy, let Judy finish. Let Judy finish her. Okay, let her finish her.
The estimated cost for 2026 is $132,699.58. There are 45 people who used the bus.
How many people have
So if we were to keep the buses, it would increase your HOA by $4.52 a month. So there you're up to $60.
Now, $65.
65.
Hi, Mary Capone, 652 Drive. Really close? Okay, how's that? Mary Capone, 652 Plymouth Drive. I'm sitting here listening to this, and I'm thinking, do you care about us at all? About our health, our welfare, our safety? God Almighty, what are you doing with this budget? I have to question the ability and the qualifications of the people on the budget committee. Oh, it's horrendous. First, okay.
Yes, it is.
Whoever it is not qualified.
No, it's not.
All right, no. Let's move on. Let me say this. By eliminating the buses, you are targeting the most disadvantaged people in the village. The visually impaired, the hearing impaired, the disabled, the special needs, the financially challenged. Do you have a real good handle on what you're doing? $4.25 a month will keep those buses running? We want our own buses. We do whatever you say. Bring the garbage to the curb. Get rid of the mulch. Pay this, pay that. And hundreds of volunteers. Don't you think you owe us something? We are asking you, please keep these buses. This is all we want. Don't make money the bottom line. We are the bottom line. You govern us. You are our only protection. We have no one else to go to. You need to go back to the drawing board and please revamp this budget. Your people are so unhappy, so angry. Please do something. Do not pass this budget. I appreciate the problems, I really do, but I'm going to say this to you. In 62 years, we had buses 5 days a week and Sunday.
You think in 62 years they didn't have problems with personnel? They didn't have problems with insurance, plus 4 or 5 wars in between? But they found a way. They found a way to keep the buses going, to provide for the people who need them. Now, your 45 people, not so sure of the statistics, have already paid $15,840 in fees, in your assessment fee. Does that help them? I think it does. You owe us. We do everything you want. And last year, you cut the busing by 50%, from 6 days to 3 days. They never said a word, those people that rode those buses. They made it happen. They said thank you. So leave it just as it is. You're only paying for two days during the week and Sunday. If it's $4.25 a month, for God's sake, I'll give you a year's worth.
Thank you.
29 days. I have a question under transportation and bus service, where it says that transportation will be provided for Friday evening synagogue services through the activities. What about the people that go to church? We're getting discriminated against? It's right in your bylaws. Why? Because we don't go to a synagogue? These people can't go to church? That's kind of sad. I can prove
That's the old ones. It's being removed. It's being removed.
Then we should have this in there. Nobody's supposed to know.
Alderete again, 2019, Dorchester. When you decided to make the pool heated for like maybe 30 people that would use it, you didn't think about the 47 people that use the bus. Those people can do nothing else but use the bus. They don't have any other means of transportation. There are people in here that don't have the money to afford anything else. And that's the difference between living here and living in Four Seasons. But the thing is, in Four Seasons, they pay $262, and here we are gonna be over $400. Are you kidding me? I mean, you have no priorities. You know, when you have a budget at home, you don't buy a car if you don't have food. You need to buy your trucks. That every time I look around, it's a new truck. For what? For going around the village? How many mileage do you put in the truck? Or everybody's taking it home? What is the problem in here? The problem is administration. You need supervision. You criticize the employees, but who's watching them? Nobody is watching them. Nobody cares in here. They just wanna, I don't know what made all of you at the board change your mind, because when you were elected, you were thinking different. You were thinking differently. Now you are acting like any politician. You know, you need to think about who owns this place, who lives in this place, and stop doing what you're doing. I mean, because you're gonna get in trouble. I still have a minute.
No, I just want to answer you.
Okay.
Go ahead if you want to finish. Obviously, you guys know I'm pretty new to this whole thing, so I'm not part of the clique. But my thinking here is, even for me being up here, and I've been to all the other meetings and I've heard all the complaints, and I've been at that mic many times complaining. You can't complain about the pool heater because it's old business, it's old news. And my personal opinion, I don't like the hot pool. It's like pee-pee water. But if you're gonna have 2 pools,
Like, don't tell me you got the buses because it's only 47 people.
I'm just trying to say, you try to use the pool heater as one of the other excuses for expenditures. We have 2 pools. If it makes people happy in a senior development to have one of them heated, go ahead. It makes sense.
If it makes people happy to have buses, so go ahead, have the buses.
And I'm for the buses because I believe seniors moved here with the understanding that they would have that transportation if they needed it. So I am for the buses. And when we tried to cut it last year, I was upset about it, but they managed to hang on to it. It's the insurance and the maintenance of the bus that makes it so prohibitive. So if you wanted to keep it, and you wanted to pay the extra money for that, but...
We are already paying extra money.
No, but...
No, you're not.
But everybody's also saying you want to pay the extra money, like Sharon says, we'll pay the $65 and have that buffer for the insurance. If you add everything back in, then it's going to be a lot more. You want to say, okay, we'll do the buses, but we don't want to pay the extra money for the insurance? You got to pick and choose what you're going to pay for. So they're not getting rid of Ocean Ride completely, they are keeping it here.
Okay, you are talking about money, so I want to ask you this. All right? You are not going to do the services for free now, right? So you have a lot less call because...
No, you don't have to pay for the bus.
No, the services. I mean...
the service fee.
Yeah. So you won't have that many calls because people don't have money to pay for it. So what are you doing with the extra labor? Who's going to pay for that labor? That is still going to be there waiting for a call that is not going to get because they have to pay.
I don't know that it's going to cut down so much.
Yeah, you need a manager who knows what he's doing. That's why you need it here.
Ma'am, your time is
Instead of the
up. Thank
serviceman
you.
getting a $10 tip, that $10 is going to go towards your fee, but it might cut down on some of the non-essential things that people are calling for, so that when you really have a problem and your drains are plugged or you have an electrical issue, then they can get there in a speedier fashion because they're not wasting their time on changing light bulbs. That's just my answer.
All right, so Curry, if you really believe in what you just said about that bus, you're going to vote no on passing this budget, right? I would assume, I would hope that that's what I'm going to be writing on that paper. Because in my heart, the only amenity that I use in this village occasionally is the golf course. And if somebody tonight on that board said to me, well, you know what, Sharon, you're going to have to give that up because there's 45 people that need to ride a bus, I'd be more than happy to do that for those 45 people because I am myself a disabled person. This is detrimental for these people. It's horrible. I think it's a horrible thing. And you know what, Sandy, you're shaking your head, okay? So multiple people up there are pool goers, right? I don't see you offering to close one pool though, okay? But you're gonna be partying hardy next year during pool season while people, 45 people have no way to go to the grocery store. Should be ashamed of yourself.
First of all,
I have 3 minutes, you can talk after I'm done, okay? So right here, you can stop this ridiculous street cleaning budget item to clean our streets. How do you look at people in the face, 45 people, and say, you can't go to ShopRite today because our manager wants the streets clean? Okay? It's really, this is insane. Close the pool, do away with the street cleaner, and I gladly pay $5 more a month so that my fellow residents who are disabled can get their asses on a bus. You should be ashamed of yourself.
First of all, they are not being left without transportation. They may have to rearrange, and instead of going on Monday or Wednesday, go on a Tuesday or Thursday. The village is paying the $2 fee that they would normally have to pay. The village is right. Excuse me.
We are.
Excuse me. Now it's my turn. Okay?
Sharon,
First of all, those of you who think nobody goes to the pool, there are 50 to 60 to 70 people in that pool every day. And they bless us for it because it's therapeutic for their arthritis. Okay? You know, you people, no, I'm sorry. Excuse me, this is not
you are up to 3 minutes.
You know what? You don't want to hear an explanation. You want to explain your complaint. I was trying to explain to you in a rational manner about the buses, okay? You don't want to hear that. None of you do. You want to come here to complain. We are...
Sharon, I also said that we are working with them to expand the stops. All right, please don't yell at me.
Hi, I'm Dory, 334B. So we're cutting out buses for people that are disabled. And then, but just a few minutes ago, Tom said the wish list is that we want 3 more trucks and 3 more work vans, and he bought a car. Where's the logic in that, and how considerate is that to our seniors? Can we answer that? Can we answer that? Anybody?
Actually, I rode the bus about a month ago. And the people that get on the bus go in the stores and go shopping. They can function. They might have disabilities, I don't know, from the outside. But they ride the bus, they go shopping. Some people get dropped off at Brick Plaza and go across the street to ShopRite and get picked up at ShopRite. Ocean Ride is still providing a bus service 2 times a week. And
I asked
probably.
All right, Sharon, let Dory have her 3 minutes. Sharon, let Dory have her 3 minutes, please.
I asked a question, can anybody answer that?
I didn't do it. She was-
Okay, so we're cutting out buses for people that don't have the ability to drive themselves whenever they want, and it's going down to 2 days a week, okay, which is, I'm sure, a big hardship for them. But Tom Claus said the wish list was 3 more trucks and 3 more work vans. And he just bought a new car for safety and security. Where's the logic in that? Where's the consideration? It seems to be, and I said it before, that you have what you want, but we got to keep paying and paying and paying and paying. You need to cut your costs. You need to have these services. This is an over 55 community. People need to be able to get to the stores on more than 2 days a week. What if one of those days falls on a holiday?
Well, I think we're going to have to sit down and talk about this with the bus. You know, I don't know if we can vote on it tonight. I'll talk to the rest of
There's a pro problem here, and the bus goes hand in hand with that. So we really need to stop and think, and can we look at our neighbors in the face when the man with the walking stick can't get to where he has to go? And we are all paying for the bus.
Terry Stevenson, 458B, Portsmouth. Just in processing the whole busing issue, and the whole issue that brings us all here tonight anyway. The buses don't only, at least to my knowledge, affect the people going shopping. Judy, I know your numbers, you said 45 people, but I'm thinking about how many people use the buses to go on the trips that we run. Those are the same buses?
Yes.
Yes. Right, so that means there's no more trips?
If there's no more buses, there's no more trips, unless we make a deal with other villages to get a big bus and have both villages go together.
People that can not only get to the store, any hopes of a socialization or a trip for a day that they can't do themselves is gone as well. Which makes it even more valuable to look at alternative solutions to this problem in particular. Maybe the trips could fund somehow the buses in some way. I don't know, things for people to look at. There must be another way to do this. There's always a way out. We all know that. But I think that it's well worth it to maybe let some of the cars go, the street cleaner go, and provide the buses, not only for shopping, but for trips as well. Otherwise, people are stuck in their homes with no socialization at all, and we know that's not healthy, especially for our community. The one more thing, I only have a minute, Judy, then you can talk what you want, sorry, is that we're in this budget crisis that I keep hearing about. Is our budget committee doing anything? I know I work in the public school system. When we have a crisis in the public school system, we get together with other public schools and we discuss the trials and tribulations that we have to work through, and together come up with solutions that maybe other districts use. Is our budget committee doing anything like that? Are you working with Four Seasons? Are you working with any other budget committees to seeing how they're dealing with any of the crises that they're having? Because I'm sure this is across the board everywhere. There must be ideas out there of how to make this work. It's just, we've got to reach out and we have to find them. We have to be super creative about this. And that's it. So.
Annette Fitzmaurice, 60A. And regarding the buses, I'm just inquiring maybe a possible option. So Judy, you said there's about 45 people a week that usually go on a week.
I've been taking surveys all year. In a given month, I have a hard time explaining this, I think. In a given month, there was 131 people that got on the bus different days. But of those different days, there's only 45 people unduplicated.
So my thought, possibly, is that if we, I guess, are going to sell the buses.
Yes.
And possibly get something like, let's say maybe let's say for any given day, there's maybe about 6 people on the buses. And we sell the buses, and we get some type of minivan, given the fact that maybe going to be 6.
The insurance will still be the same.
That's what I'm asking, would the insurance
Yes.
be the same?
Insurance is going to be the same.
It's not a bus, it's like a van, it's like a minivan, it's small.
We talked to the insurance company, and they said even if you had a small minivan to go to church on Sunday, the insurance is going to stay the same. That's been the problem with our insurance companies. You people don't want to see what's going on. You know what?
I threw out there because I thought it was a smaller vehicle, the insurance might be less. I would have thought about it less, so that's my only suggestion, something smaller.
Meeting 363 East Chesterfield Court. First of all, Sharon was up speaking, and I was down at the back. I could not hear what she was saying because somebody silenced her mic. Somebody silenced her mic. I think that's an audacity of you.
3 minutes were up. 3 minutes were up.
And it's very rude for you to do that. We own this.
We have rules and regulations in this village. If you don't want to follow them, we have to, you have to abide by them. You don't want to abide by them. There's a rules and regulations. People stay up here.
Just one point.
All right, go ahead.
Second point, the buses. When I moved in here, I was told there was buses. I don't need the buses right now. But who knows down the road of it? Your selling point for this village when you want to put 100,000 and 120,000 and 60,000 into a darn heater for a pool, that's a selling point for this village. It's an old age village and people need transport. And that's where you guys should be focusing. on that. And that's a selling point when elderly people want to move in there. And a lot of people have moved in there and now can't afford anything. And that is my point with that. But overall, I would like to nominate Sharon to speak for me for 3 minutes for each resolution. And I have a right to do that because I have a right to speak for 3 minutes. So from now on, I want to appoint her to speak on my behalf. And she can say on my behalf because I agree with everything she said on Facebook. If we all did that, we get more answers faster because everybody is just coming up here saying the same old, and you guys are not really listening. So I would like to be listening, and the buses need to stay. Thank you.
Hi, I'd like to address the bus situation. Since we have $16 a month left over in our insurance thing, why can't we take $5 out of that 16? Don't say no. I did the math. It's $406,000 is $14 a month, not $30. People need the buses. You should bring the buses back Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and let Ocean Ride do Tuesday, Thursday, and give them 5 days a week of buses, and take the $5 out of your long estimate.
Janet, 39J. Did you say that Ocean Ride charges our residents? Yes, right?
It's a donation, $1 when you get on the bus and $1 when you come back. The village is going to make that donation on behalf of the residents.
That was my question. I was going to say, maybe we could do a contract with Ocean Ride to solve our problem. We don't have to pay the insurance. They can pay all of that.
That's what we're dealing with. Yes.
That's all.
Thank you.
Mayor, I think you were up for it.
Yes, I was up already, but I forgot to give you your petitions.
Okay.
It saddens me that I have to go this far and petition you to do the right thing. It saddens me. However, last year we had over a dozen sheets, over 200 people in a matter of days. People were so angry, it was a day and a half and I got 100. Please go back to the drawing board, find a solution, let the people feel that they're worth something.
All right, next resolution, please.
Not for nothing, I want you to think about the fact that you have people here that eat cat food. And now you're taking the ability to get it away from them. Think about that. That's a shame. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Get to the mic right now. Let's see. Someone that said that used the word that they govern us. Not a chance. Someone used the word that they govern us. We can't even manage our money, so forget that. Sandy, you said that we come up that one complaint. That's how you see us? You said to this woman.
Is this about the buses?
Yeah, it is. We come up to complain.
I said you don't want explanations. I said you don't
What's the question about the buses, sir?
They have to be addressed, and so we're kind of leveling.
All right. November 3rd, you can talk about that.
Judy said she carefully and thoroughly investigated this whole question. Again, it's not yours to investigate. We have buses. When we came here, we knew these were the amenities. Your problem is you're looking for money in the wrong place, our pockets. It's internal. And I want to know why these people have to come up with common sense solutions that seem to escape you. I don't get that. Look, internal, freeze the spending. Freeze it. Unless all of you have debt in your homes and you work by debt. Do you? So why should you put our money in debt? Why do we have to bail, whatever kind of thinking financially this is, why do you have to bail your dreams out? Why do we have to do it? You created the debts you saw without hitting us, hitting our pocket, honestly.
Again, I'm new to this, and I had no idea that we even had a budget committee that was made of 4 people that live in this village and have nothing to do with the board. And I only found that out several weeks ago. And I was very impressed to find out that we have 4 people that volunteer to try to work with the board on the budget. And they did come up with a higher number, because they were going with the 30% for the insurance and whatnot. But I believe even they, on their budget, didn't question the buses. The problem we have is because for 25 years, we had, let's just say, mismanagement on a lot of sides, so you only had $2 and $3 increases. Nobody ever anticipated the future or general inflation, and we are now paying for the sins of our fathers. So we don't have a big choice. I'm not paying out of my pocket too.
Yeah, I get it. That's an excuse. It is what it is now.
Right, but
and the point being, they should be in advance for 10 years.
Yes, but they didn't.
In advance instead of hitting a wall. Now I need to.
But they didn't. And we're stuck now.
Time to survive.
I understand.
And the time to start freezing spending is now.
Oh, I agree.
Not at another time. Not after we get this budget.
All right.
Now.
I agree with that.
3 minutes is up, sorry. Our next resolution, please. Come on, Cindy, we got to move on.
218A, I was just talking with Sandy. These buses, correct me if I'm wrong, Sandy and Tom, did we only just get these buses about 5-6 years ago?
Yes.
Before that, there was no buses at the village hall. So before we did that, can we go back to that?
We were paying for a bus company to do the pickup, and it became so incredibly expensive, even more expensive than doing ourselves. It was cheaper for us to do our own bus service. That's not it anymore. It's not cheaper, and we can't afford to hire a bus service.
Next resolution, please.
This is Resolution 2025-10-2305, approving the sale of Block 1248, Lot 8605.
So once again,
I'm going to speak on this.
Once again, the resolution before the board is for approving the sale of block 1248, lot 86.05, otherwise known as 86E Dorchester Drive. As you can see contained in the resolution, there was an agreed upon sale price of $160,000 to Luigi Guerrera. This unit was acquired through foreclosure action that the association put into place back in 2014 and was purchased at Sheriff's Center.
Any questions?
Hi, I'm Jory from 334B. So this was on the market for $170,900, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And he offered much lower?
No, it was 199. It was 199. Didn't it start at 199? I think it was 199, right? Originally. 179.
$170,900.
Yeah.
Okay. So why are we selling it for $160,000? Was there any other offers?
No, we actually weren't receiving offers. It sat on the market for quite some time. We did get an offer of $160 for the board's consideration, and the board agreed.
And how long is quite a while?
4 months, 5 months.
Okay. So what were the arrears on the unit?
Presently, with all the renovations that the association did, the debt on the account is $42,574.23. $42,574.23.
Okay, and how much money did we put into it as far as goods and our labor costs?
The total improvements came to $11,180.83.
Okay. So, is that what we normally do? We don't just sell it as is? Normally foreclosures are sold like as is. Normally a foreclosure would be sold as is.
At sheriff's sale, correct.
Yeah, why would
Yeah,
why would we not do that?
We purchased it at sheriff's sale. Then we rented it out for a number of years. The board, at the time of lease renewal, decided that they were not going to move forward with a renewal, that they wanted to sell the asset.
So you said it was a foreclosure. You bought one of our units at a sheriff's sale.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. How much money do we stand to make to get reimbursed on it?
Well, 160, the debt on the account is just over 42,000, so we're probably going to make close to 110 after fees.
Okay, and where is that money going to?
That's going to offset the receivables, and then the balance of it will go into operating.
Okay, so it wouldn't go into where our HOA fees go? Is that the receivables?
Yes, that's where, no, well, it offsets the receivables and the debts. So and then the balance of that will go into the operating account. At the end of the year, when the auditor completes his audit, whatever that surplus is, the board will then determine where that money's earmarked for.
Maybe you can go to the buses. Okay. Are we using, just a curious question, are we using the same auditor that we've had for the past 50 years?
I don't believe they've been the auditor for 50 years.
Well, I'm just being facetious, okay? Are we using the same auditor that we've had?
Yes.
Skip Bauer?
Yes.
We're not going to use another auditor?
That is not my decision, that's up to the board.
Okay. Does the board hear that? That we use a different auditor, maybe from a bigger firm? Okay.
Who foreclosed on that house?
The association.
Not the bank?
No.
Who did he buy it from?
It went to sheriff's sale.
No. When he bought it first.
Who? No, seriously, who are you talking about?
The condo that you're talking about.
Right.
Okay? You said it was a foreclosure. That means somebody had to buy it and somebody had to close on it. I mean, not close on it, get a foreclosure. Somebody foreclosed on it.
The previous owner defaulted on the association fees. We went through the normal steps, liens, foreclosure, etc. It eventually went to sheriff's sale, where the association purchased it at sheriff's sale.
So if somebody goes to the bank, takes out a mortgage, okay, and buys a condo here, pays his HOA, he's got his HOA over here, he's got his mortgage over here. You people can foreclose on his house.
Oh, not unless he doesn't pay his main HOA fees.
So if you don't pay your HOA, but you keep on paying your mortgage, who's going to foreclose on the house? Can you sit up there so I can know?
The question is if they're paying their mortgage and there's a lien on the property for unpaid maintenance fees, the association can foreclose on that property on their lien for unpaid maintenance fees. If they foreclose, the mortgage survives. The mortgage remains on the property, so any buyer at sheriff's sale purchases it subject to that mortgage. Okay, that's the decision of every association, every board, on whether they want to pursue foreclosure in lieu of a lender still having the mortgage on the property.
So somebody could buy a condo, pay his HOA, and pay his mortgage to the bank, HOA to the people, and then get an arrears on his HOA, okay, just his HOA, and pay half of that a month, okay? You people can take his house. You can still put a lien on it. Or when he,
I don't know what you're saying.
When he dies, and he gives it to his kids, the kids can pay off what he owes on the HOA and then sell the house, his house.
They can sell the house if they don't pay the HOA, but if they sell the house, then whoever purchases it has to pay off the balance.
Whoever purchases it?
Closing. Part of the closing. I mean, they can decide who purchases it, but, I mean, who pays off the balance, but at closing, that's how.
Somebody's got to pay the HOA.
Correct.
Okay. Somebody has to pay it. So if the guy dies, he's not paying it. Okay? His kids, they sell the house, I can see them, they have to pay it. You sell the house for $200,000, but you owe 40 in that, so you get 160. The former owner's dead.
You have to pay the full amount owed of maintenance fees, even when you're deceased. You have to pay. Including if the estate sells the unit.
I'm probably going to be cremated, but if I go to St. Charles, you can go there and see.
The obligation survives the owner.
We're going to take a 5-minute break to have a conversation on the budget. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. We're going to call this meeting to order. Can I get a roll call, please?
Good evening again. Roll call. Tom?
Here.
Debbie? Here. Julianne? Here. Sue? Here. Sandy? Here. Harvey is absent. And Kerry?
I'd like the approval of the minutes of the open meeting of September 18, 2025. Can I get a motion?
I make the motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Secretary's report. Can you read the resolutions, please?
On hearing your voices,
We're going to table resolution number 2025-01 and 2025-04. So later, it's the budget and the buses. We're going to discuss at a further date, further time, and discuss what's going to happen to it. Thank you. I read resolution number 2025-10-2302.
this is resolution number 2025-10-2302, adopting restatement of bylaws.
Motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Tom?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
Julianne?
Yes.
Sue? Yes. Sandy?
Yes.
Harvey is absent. Kerry?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution number 2025-10-2303.
This is the resolution related to damage to common elements, limited common elements and association property.
So moved.
Roll call.
Tom?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Sue? Yes. Sandy?
Yes.
Harvey? Absent. Kerry?
Resolution number 2025-10-2305.
This is the resolution approving the sale of block 1248, lot 8605.
I make the motion.
Roll call.
Tom?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Sue? Yes. Sandy?
Yes.
Harvey absent. Kerry?
Thank you. Those three resolutions have been approved and two tabled. Treasurer's report, please.
Good evening, everyone. Our reserves for the merit prize this morning is $600,353,612. We transferred in $233,125.04, and we've written checks for the month of October so far of $71,947.61. In collections, from 0 to 30, we have 171, 31 to 60, 45, 61 plus 151. Of those 151, we have 51 people in collections with our attorneys. Thank you.
You're welcome, Judy. Attorney's report, Greg Vino-Gretzky.
All right. So, just want to give you a breakdown of the monies collected from our firm for collections. So, in September, our office collected $33,774.40. So, of the calendar year, Q3, July, August, September, we collected a total of $102,614.46. As usual, we are aggressively collecting on owners that are in arrears, placing liens, filing foreclosure actions, and sending collection letters, and making sure that the association is properly protected. I don't really have much else. It's been a long night. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Village manager's report, Tom Cross.
Good evening, everyone. Just real quick, Service Department is currently working on what we hope will be the last cut for this season. We will soon be in leaf removal as we see the leaves are starting to come down. Certainly keep an eye on how things develop over the weekend. If things aren't too heavy, the grounds department is going to work on catching up on some various other tasks before getting fully involved in leaf removal. The irrigation system for District 2 should be complete by tomorrow. Then the irrigation techs will be moving over to District 1 to begin blowing out the system. Pools are closed, Dorchester is winterized, Buckingham Pool is scheduled for next week. Auto department is working on servicing all snow equipment, and once again give a once over for all the leaf removal equipment, which has already been conducted, but they've already begun doing it again. Make sure everything's ready to go when the leaves get too heavy. We're also looking into new salt suppliers this year. The company Cargill that we normally get our salt from has informed us that they would not be able to supply us with salt this year due to other commitments. So we have East Coast Salt and Garden State Salt that we're working with to get proposals on from as well. Recently I did a walkthrough with the engineer and contractor for this year's road improvement program. I had showed them some areas of concern that I had with the project. They're going to be coming back to the board with recommendations to correct. JCP&L has informed us that they will be scheduling a shutdown to connect the new equipment that they installed on Dorchester. We expect that probably in the next week or two. Once we have a confirmed date, we'll be sending out one calls for those affected. They intend to do the shutdowns in 6 series. I'm not sure what locations are going to be first, etc. They will also be sending out notices to the customers to alert them as well. Just a quick update on Lake Tudor as well. We are just waiting for a geotech engineer to sign off on the repair plan for the DEP. Once that's done, we're certain that the DEP will approve the repair plan and we can move forward with that. And that'll conclude my report.
Thank you, Tom. Committee report. Oh, sure.
Yes, actually, I spoke with Bob Bryce on that. He's checking to make sure there are work orders in on that, and I also asked Shirley to send them the updated poll list so they are aware of all the locations.
Thank you, Tom. Committee report, Judy?
Yes, tomorrow we have our neighborhood representatives meeting at Buckingham Hall at 10 a.m. and it'll be in room 1 this time. Hope to see some of you there.
Thank you, Judy. My report is, just be careful out there. There's a lot of those nuts, not nuts, but stuff. There are a lot of nuts too, but acorns fall from the tree. And Dorchester Pool is closed. I want to thank all the people that helped me out this year, volunteering. You did a great job. I love you all. Thank you. Vice President report, anything? President's report. First of all, I want to apologize that I got a little nasty with people. I just don't like to be attacked. From Brooklyn, you know. Listen, we listened to you. We'll make a decision on what we're going to do. We want this village to be happy and help the people out. So just listen to us and, just hopefully we do this thing right. Okay? Thank you. Okay. I don't know. We didn't get a date yet on that. One more time. Motion to adjourn this meeting. Could ask you after you adjourn. Motion to adjourn.